Jeff's out of Grapeview, Washington. And this is really a hard track as far as having your very first race here, mainly because of the tightness of the track. It's very short, very narrow, not a lot of wiggle room in the corners. A little bit easier to start out on a longer, wider, more open track for the beginning drivers, but he gets it done. Okay, that was a DNF. Apparently at one point took a wrong turn, so a DNF for Jeff Purcell on his first time out as a driver in boat 154. So boat 556 on the way out. Now, this is driven by Nicole Brown and Dawn Davis, and it's been about 6 years since we have had an all-female team racing. So Nicole has spent quite a few years as a navigator. She's out of Sequim, Washington. She'll also be navigating out here a little bit later on today, and this is her first official race run. She's been in a boat a number of times as navigator, but first time driving. And in a borrowed boat at that. The guy that owns the boat asked her, he said, "So can I get you not to wreck my boat?" And she said, "Sure." And then he said, "Great, I want you to race it." Pretty much doing what she said yesterday she was going to do, was take it easy for the first couple of times around to get her feet wet, so to speak. She gets the clean run, and unofficially about 65.8 the time. But it was a clean run. So 65.89. The time for boat 556. Mark Toombs and Amy Hensley in boat 50. Monkey Business on the way. Second season for Mark as a driver, making their debut here last year in the Monkey Business boat. I want to thank some of our sponsors.
I want to thank you all for joining us today for race 1 of the 2019 season here from Webb Slough. Sorry I didn't catch the first couple boats there because we were not live on YouTube at the same time. Now we are live on Facebook and YouTube together, and I had to do a little computer work there. So hopefully we'll have a smooth day. I'm real excited to bring this race to you and some new features. So hopefully everything will cooperate. Feel free to send me an email at sprintboatvideo@gmail.com or follow me on Facebook, Paul White, and send me any messages. Or there's also chat on YouTube and Facebook. So thank you for joining us.
Right now we are waiting for our next boat to come out. I'm going to assume that they are on a 5-minute clock. So the way that the rules work, driver gets the boat into the water down there in the start pool, and if they can't get it started or having mechanical issues, they have 5 minutes to be able to rectify that problem. Otherwise, they will get a DNS, also known as a did not start. And that means that they're not able to run in that particular qualifier. There are 4 qualifying runs, generally. We'll see if we can make it to all 4 of those today, but 4 qualifying runs. And then it is the top 8 times from the boats that will make it into the 8 cut. So the fastest 8 boats out of the qualifiers, based on their best time during their 4 runs, make it into what's referred to as the 8 cut. From there, it's winnowed down to 4 boats, and then those 4 boats down to 2 who will race for the championship. So it looks like he was on the 5-minute clock and able to get the boat started. Notice they're backing it down in. He's off the trailer, so beats the 5-minute clock. So this is boat 5-0. Monkey Business in the modified class. I want to thank everybody for viewing us, by the way. We're on Facebook Live and also on webslew.com, broadcasting live today. Video of the race. And he gets the fast DNF. And is the first boat out of the water, so congratulations to him on that. If you got to be first in something, that's something. So they'll try to get him back in the water. So our first out-of-water experience, our first cross-country experience today. Congratulations going out to Mark Toombs for that, and I'm sure that he's just as happy as he can be about that. Some of our sponsors include All Sports, serving Spokane and Coeur d'Alene since 1984, offering a big selection of street bikes, dirt bikes, ATVs, UTVs, snowmobiles, scooters, personal watercraft, just about everything that you can imagine from Honda and KTM under one roof. They're located in Liberty Lake, Washington, easy to find just off I-90 at Barker Road. They're happy to announce they've just added the full line of KTM street and dirt bikes to their showroom, so go on down and take a look. You can also check them out online at allsportracing.com. Also, D&J Farm Supply, a proud sponsor of Web Slew, the largest independent dealer in the Northwest of Camso agriculture tracks. They have many of your farm needs like mid-rollers, spindles, hubs, jumbo harrows. Camso tracks far exceed the competition. Whether you need them new or used, you're going to be able to find them at D&J Farm Supply, locally owned by Don and Amy Swadek. You notice, kind of over there off to the side of the beer gardens, a helicopter over there. You can take helicopter rides today. Go over and see them for details. Next out is Bad to the Bone. Boat 199 with Josh Reynolds and Samantha Mickelson. So you have a driver. The Navigator in these boats does a couple of things. Number one, they have also memorized the track, the rotation. And so as they're driving around, the Navigator will actually be giving a series of hand signals, letting the driver know where to turn, where to go straight, etc. Another thing that they're doing is they're also watching the gauges and controls. Make sure that, for instance, oil pressure, how hot the engine is running, etc. They're paying attention to that. And the other thing that they're providing, as inartful as this may sound, they're providing ballast. They literally help balance the boats. So a couple of things there. And a lot of times, too, the Navigator will act as sort of a coach. Driver's paying attention to what he's doing, and the Navigator will be kind of looking at the lines that the driver is taking. And they'll act as a coach, tell them, you're letting off in this particular corner, or you could take a different line going into this particular straightaway. So a lot of different things the Navigator performs. Boat 199 now. And what you're hearing is a clogged pump. So generally, the rules allow the driver to wave a runoff in a situation like this, so he waved it off. They are allowed to do that. They'll try to get the grate clear and then come out again. So these, again, are jet boats. They have a large pump in the back of the boat. They vary in what's referred to as nozzle size. I mean, they have them as small as about 7.5. I think the largest that you're going to see on any of the boats out here is about 9 3/4 inches. So different nozzles, different boats, and there is an intake on the bottom of the boat that has a grate on it. And one of the things that's typical for a track like this, you're going to get different algae and plant life and stuff that grows. And as that water is getting sucked in, sometimes they suck in plants, and that will clog those grates. So they'll try to get it unclogged and then get back out on the water. Normally, though, when that happens, you don't see them really go back up on the trailer, and they're going to pull it out. So for whatever reason, kind of looks like that. Yep, they're going to clear the pump. So we're going to bring out boat 2-9, Hammer Time, Rick Phillips and Jennifer McClellan. How many folks were here the last race last year? Well, you may remember Hammer Time is the Jeep boat. Okay, I heard a few people laugh. They remember it. Back at it again. It is Hammer Time. Boat number 9. Nicely done. He gets the clean run, and a good run at that. That's one thing. Rick has definitely, as a driver over the last couple of seasons, definitely improved. Very nice run by Rick Phillips. And unofficially, a time of 47.26. Unofficially. Okay, boat 199 on the way. Bad to the Bone. Josh Reynolds and Samantha Mickelson. Oh! Hangs on to it. This boat that you're watching here, by the way, is for sale. Josh is 41. He's a boat shop owner. Been driving for about 7 years. It was a custom boat that was, as Josh puts it, built by an unknown company. So he gets the clean run. $56.17 the time at boat 199. And boat 08 on the way out. First of our Canadian racers today. Scott winning last year here in the modified class, taking first on the podium in boat 08. Scott and his daughter out of Maple Ridge, British Columbia. And he's definitely throwing the hammer down on this first run. He's on his way to a very good time. He can bring it in under 40 seconds, and he does! Fastest time of the day, 38.28. Next closest boat, about 5 seconds off that time. That would be 91 with a 43.34. Boat 91, the Flying Hawaiian. Second fastest boat in the class today as we wait for boat 40B. When you hear the A and the B, that means that that particular boat is being tag teamed in that round. So same boat, but different driver and different navigator setup. Clayton Johnson and Dylan Hatch. Dylan navigating earlier for his dad, Dan. But Clayton Johnson, the driver here. It's his first year driving. Clayton's out of Pasco, Washington. So he will be the last boat out in the modified class, and we'll get the 400 class underway. Boats in the 400 class. 400 class always very competitive. And for a first time racing, that was a pretty good run for Clayton. 48.18 unofficially. So Clayton with his first run, and not bad for the beginner. 48.18 and that clean run. So 48.18 as we get ready to move into the 400 class. 400 is a very restricted class. It's what's known as an international rules class. So a lot of different restrictions as far as what you can and cannot do to the engine. One of the main things, of course, is the fact that...
Hello, if you're watching on Facebook, please like, share, or comment on this video so that your friends will know that we are live. And if you are watching on YouTube, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the little bell so you'll know when we are live.
It has to do with the hull design, and the pumps and the pump setup. Really, the magic on these boats, a lot of it comes from the pumps, the type of pump they have, the impellers, the device that basically sucks the water in and pushes it out. There's different designs of impellers, the size of the nozzle, the angle of attack of the nozzle. So a lot of different things. The pump is really a lot of the magic in these boats. And of course, part of it has to do with the drivers, how smooth the driver is, what kind of lines they take, how well they're able to manage the power of the boat. Our first boat out in the 400s will be boat 208. It's part of the growing Jolly Rogers team. Used to be that the Canadians, the Fat Buddy team, were the guys that had the most boats, but the Jolly Rogers team growing exponentially. Jolly Rogers team started by Eric Werner, former naval aviator flying fighters. Our first boat out is going to be boat 31A from down under, from Australia. Tony Whalen and Callie Vickery. So you'll see this boat out here a couple of times. If you are an old timer and you've been around sprint boat racing here in the U.S. for any length of time and come to the races here, you might have remembered the old rock chucker boat. This was the old rock chucker boat with a different paint job on it. It used to be black with yellow and black checkerboard design on it. And that was cool. A little in out. Kiss in the bank there. Just to let you know, they've only been able to get this boat set up in the last couple of days, and they weren't sure how it was going to be handling, and probably it was wise that they were willing to admit they weren't sure, because it is really squirrely looking. The back end breaking from out underneath them. It's very loose looking out there on the water. Some of you will see these, like for instance Scott Jensen when he was about in boat 08, like on a rail, very tight, very straight, not a lot of back end breaking away, but the way this is set up, definitely a lot of drift. But he still gets it good. So a clean run. .6.428 for boat 31A. He's visiting the beer garden. New beer garden favorite. Congratulations going to first-timer Kelly Stevenson and Dennis Robertson. This is Kelly's first time behind the wheel of the boat, and apparently it's Miller time. He gets started. Now the safety crew, this is where they earn their pay, as they give the heave-ho trying to get him back into the water. That was definitely a fast in and out for Kelly. Kelly actually is from New Zealand, but to get the boat started. If not, we'll either see the jet ski come out or the safety crew will fight their way through the leeches and push him back in. Coming up next, boat 13, part of the Fat Buddies, actually the founder of the Fat Buddies, Scotty Dog Saxton and his navigator Tadra Reichert in boat 13. So Scott, for the last couple of years, has been driving in the unlimited class. He started off in the 400 class, moving back into his 400 boat, making his way down from Surrey, British Columbia. His superboat will be driven by a racer well known amongst the sprint boaters. We'll talk about that when he comes up in the unlimited class. But right now, Scotty Dog Scott Saxton, the founder of the Fat Buddies in the orange and black, he's been driving for about 9 years. Scott's placed second or third a number of times, never taken first in the 9 years that he's been racing. Scott's one of those drivers that can run hot or cold. Either he's really on it or all over the place. Right now, running fairly smoothly. Tater has been navigating for a couple of years for him. Nice and clean. Clean run and unofficially a 42.63. And that is official, a 42.63 for Scotty Dog Saxton, making his way down from Surrey, British Columbia. On the way, bank shot, Jimmy Hess and Jason Christ, boat 21. He's out of Twin Falls, Idaho. Jason from Burley, Idaho. He's got a 400 cubic inch Chevy in the back there, an 8.5 inch Scott pump. Scott, one of the larger manufacturers of sprint boat racing pumps. Sponsors include Monty's Racing Engines out of Albany, Oregon, Dippin' Guys, Hydrographics, Ben Hogan. Oh! And that's it for him. I think, no. Wait to see what our spotter says is whether he got it clean. So it was a clean run, having engine problems there at the very end, and kisses the bank over in the spin-out pool. But a clean, if unpretty, run. 55.78. 55.78 for boat 21. As we wait for Stephen Church and Randy Church in Bad Influence in boat 156B. The boat's owned by Ron DeMoe. Stephen, who is now driving, has been a longtime navigator for Ron and actually is going to hop into the navigator's seat when we see this boat out here a little bit later in this first qualifying run for the 400 class. But Stephen is driving, and his wife Randy is in the navigator's seat. Been married for, I think, about 3-4 years, so making their way in from Cheshire, Oregon, which is kind of southern central part of western Oregon, down outside of Eugene. Their sponsors include App River, Zix, Cobalt Computer Services, Sierra Mobile RV Service. This boat has actually seen action not only here in the U.S., but also they've raced down in New Zealand and Australia in the World Series events down under. Ron DeMoe, the boat owner, was talking to him yesterday, and they asked him how he did last year, and they had just literally had to put the boat together after shipping it down, and he said, yeah, it was kind of an ugly experience. It's one thing, Steven definitely cutting the corners real tight. I have to say, for his first time driving, so far fairly smooth. He said he's pulling his corners real tight, kissing those islands. But he gets it done. So a clean run. Unofficially a 43.13. And that is official, so a 43.13. Fastest boat out so far in the 400 class has been boat 13 with a 42.63. Fastest boat so far today, of course, was Badfish, boat 08 in the modifieds with a 38.28. Wait for Bandit Black on the way. That is boat 76, Brian Swindoll and Troy Olson, the Navigator.
Hello to all our viewers watching on YouTube Live and Facebook Live simultaneously. If you get a chance, spread the word. Help us get this viewing audience up as large as possible. We want to see everybody we can online, and it's going to be a great day of racing, and we're proud to be bringing it to you live from Webb Slough in St. John, Washington.
Brother Darren, kind of a breakout season for Darren, doing really well in races last year, placing either first or second consistently. Used to be the Brian, the brother, was the one that was placing higher, but last year Darren really stepping up and looking real good. So we'll wait to see if he can get the boat out here. Sponsored by Heritage Distillery. Garco Construction, one of our sponsors out here today. They've been building excellence since 1978. They are general contractors. They do design, build, and construction management services. Longtime sponsor of the racing here at Webb Slough. As has Greenboro. Greenboro is the official screen printer and embroider for Webb Slough. They pride themselves in great custom designs with friendly, personal service to all of their customers. If you're looking for something in-house designed or customized, they're going to be able to handle it for you. Check them out at greenboro.com. That's GEENBURO.com. Anytime you need screen printing or embroidery projects. Felton Auto Sales, a sponsor out here as well. They're located in St. Mary's, Idaho, where you can find quality vehicle at a fair price. Visit feltonsautosales.com. The money you save could be your own. Also proudly supporting Webb Slough. So the issue that we're having right now, why we're waiting, is we've got an issue with one of the Jeeps. We've got a Jeep club that is actually providing the towing services for the boats to get them in and out of the start pool. And apparently on the trailers, so, all right. Bandit Black 76 on the way. Of all the drivers I've ever seen, Brian is the only one that when he wrecks, generally almost always beer cans his boat, meaning he just crushes it and crumples it. Hasn't done that for a while, but he's done it at least 3 times. Once here. The hull itself is designed by Brian, who is a boat builder. This is own proprietary design. Nice clean run. With a 44.59 an official time. And that is now official. So 44.59. Smooth run for Darren, or pardon me, a smooth run for Brian, but not exactly one of his faster runs. Now, his brother in boat 4-7, Darren Swindoll, and daughter Ashley coming out in Bandit Gold Rush. Taking second place here last year twice. Losing a little time there, coming wide going into the corner, nicking the bank. A lot of it is all about approach to the corners and what the line is that they want to set up. And the run is good. .14 on the time, which is going to be the fastest run in the 400s today, which could change as Phil Miller and Sharon Hauser make their way out in boat 22. Phil placing first here in both races last year. Phil's been racing for a number of years as part of the Fat Buddy team coming down from Canada. He actually purchased his boat down under, one of their designs, and a lot of the Australian and Kiwi designs a number of years ahead of the Hull design here in the United States. So a lot of the fastest boats have some of the newer hull designs from down under, and that was a great run. 39.15. So running almost exactly 3 seconds faster than boat 47. So the fastest time in the 400 class today, under 40 seconds, with a 39.15 for Phil Miller. When he first started racing, his sprint boat was not only for racing, but he would also take it fishing for salmon up in Canada. This is Kyle Patrick and Amanda Thompson, Psycho Team Racing. Boat 151. Kyle Patrick's out of Albany, Oregon. He's an electrical contractor. Been a long time since we've seen Kyle in the 400 class. He moved up several years ago into the unlimited superboat class. Had a pretty good career in the 400s, winning a national championship and usually being somebody who would make it on the podium. Nice and smooth, gets it done, 45.27. Kyle's also spent a number of years racing down under in New Zealand and Australia. He'll be out in boat 151M in the unlimited class, which is an absolute rocket. This particular rotation out here today where they're making their path through, so the rotations change from race to race. So our next race coming up here in August, they're not going to be taking the same track around or course around the track. And this particular course or rotation, not exactly what I would consider to be one of the more technical of the rotations that we've seen out here, and really seems to be set up more for the unlimited class and superboats. Problem with this particular track, if you want to call it that, being as short as it is and with the channels as narrow, makes it hard for the unlimited class, the super class boats, to really open the boats up and use the power that they have. So this particular rotation really kind of favors the unlimited class boats, meaning that there's not a lot of those technical corners and the like, the chicanes through the center, a lot of hairpin corners and the like. So we'll be able to see the unlimited class open those boats up a little more than we usually do. For 31B, this is Mike Llewellyn and Sandy Whalen in boat Why Not, making their way in from Australia, tag teaming this boat. Mission accomplished with the clean run. Mike's been doing this for about 3 years. Sandy is the boat owner, by the way. She likes to let everyone know that. 53.66. With bank shot, Daryl Healy and Lena Lilly. Daryl from Idaho, Lena from Surrey, British Columbia. Daryl's been racing for about 10 years. Races a little bit of everything. Drag boat, drag carts. And he gets it. .45.38 as a time. So most of the times that we're seeing here, with the one exception of Phil Miller in boat 22, a lot of them in the mid-40s. Ken Wurst and Mike So boat 625, also a part of the Jolly Rogers contingent. Ken Wurst, Mike Reardon. Ken's been doing this for about 3 years, part of the Jolly Roger team. Bounds going into those right-hand corners. You watch it and the boat starts to porpoise. Still low, moving right along. races for home. Looks good, and a 43.31. So fourth fastest time in the class. Just about 0.2 of a second slower than our third fastest boat in the class, which was 156B. So he gets the time of 43.31, and our next boat is on the 5-minute clock. That is going to be live wire boat 02, Von Trapp and Matt Denson. You may recognize the boat. Been out here for many years. Another driver behind the seat, but Vaughn, long time.
Just a reminder to those watching, we will be going off the air after the fourth qualifier and creating a separate event on Facebook. YouTube will just go right back on the air. There is no specific event on YouTube, but on Facebook there will be a separate event created for the eliminations, and you'll have to just watch the Facebook page for WebSlew to see if we go live. Definitely, if you're following us, you'll be notified.
One of the better sprint boat drivers, always very smooth, very precise. Vaughn had been his crew chief for many years, and buying the boat just in the last month. Keep in mind, we are live, by the way, and if you are watching the live stream today on either the WebSlew Facebook page and the WebSlew YouTube page, we want to welcome in channels. We want to welcome you to Sprint Boat Racing here from St. John, Washington in the lovely Palouse. It's a great day for racing, and it's a great day to be at WebSlew. Anytime is a great day to be at WebSlew. And waiting for Vaughn to make his way out. I'm actually interested to see how Vaughn manages to handle live wire. Having watched this boat for a number of years, I can tell you that it can be a very, very smooth boat. And unless he made some major changes to the setup, it still should be. Yep. So just came around, hit that corner on the side, and rolled it over. That accident looked a lot worse probably than it was. Although that is our first major divot of the day, and Vaughn's going to take some time to fill that. Get the safety crew over. So, the driver's out. Wave over to everybody, Vaughn. Waiting to see is there a Navigator out, or the Navigator? It looks like the Navigator is potentially still in. Yep. Okay, they need a little bit of time, apparently. Can we get a hands up over there if the Navigator is okay? Still waiting to see if the Navigator is okay. All right. They're trying to get... Okay, the Navigator is out and up. Wave to the crowd. Yeah. He's good. He's good. So it's going to take a little bit as they get things squared away and taken care of as they try to get the boat out of there. So one of our racers out here we've already seen would be Brian Swindoll. Brian, of course, a part of the Bandit team. Last night at the Show and Shine, which is a little event that is always held the night before the races, I had a chance to talk to Brian a little bit. We saw him out here in Bandit Black, and we had a chance to chat with him last night. All right, Dennis, well, you're the guy to beat, it seems like. 2 wins here last year. Okay, well, I thought that was Brian. Let's go for a take 2 on that. I'm going to blame our producer for this. Eric, it has been a long time coming for bad idea. Bandit Black take is 3. Back. Brian, you had a good season here last year. Phil Miller, obviously kind of the guy to beat in the 400 class. In the off-season, other than the new black paint job, what happened?
Well, we did a little bit of digging and managed to find some new sponsors to come on board with us. We got Heritage Distilling, bottlers of the famous BSB, brown sugar bourbon. Print Northwest came on this year and helped us out, so we got a little bit of backing and got some new graphics on the boat, changed it up a little bit, looking a little bit different.
The graphics make it go faster.
Absolutely. You got to have good vinyl to go fast.
I'm just kind of curious, does the Heritage Distillery bourbon, does that give you a little extra octane?
Well, it actually does, and if you notice on the side of the boat, it says it's fueled by BSB. Yeah. So a little higher octane for both the driver and the boat.
All right. So in the 400 class, for folks that are not familiar with the class itself, what are the limitations on this class?
We are limited to 412 maximum cubic inch. We have to run iron heads with stock valve angles, single 4-barrel carburetor on race gas. We can kind of do what we want with pistons and things like that. This particular motor makes about 650 horsepower at 6,200, and we're making about 540 foot-pounds of torque. So the big limitation for us is probably that having to run iron heads. But it's a very competitive class, and the field is really stacked for this race.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Looking at it, we've got something like 12 different people in this particular class. And one of the reasons that the limitations in the 400 class is because it's based on international rules for sprint boats.
That's correct. Yeah, it's international rules. They follow that for the super boats or the unlimited class and the 400 class. So that's recognized, if we want to run the Worlds down under, next year the Worlds should be coming to the USA. So we'll have the Australians and the New Zealanders up here to compete, and that way it's an even playing field for the 400s and the Unlimiteds.
Really, the big difference in the boats from down under, at least in the 400 class, a big part of it is just the hulls.
It is, and of course they've been doing this longer than we have, so they've really refined the hull form and the hull shape. But we're catching on pretty fast. I think we can give those guys a good run if they want to come up here and play with us, and especially here at our home track.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And it should be mentioned, you're a boat builder by trade.
I am, yeah. As a matter of fact, we build commercial boats a lot bigger than these, but we do build aluminum boats, steel boats, fiberglass boats. Magitech Marine is the company that we have over in Tacoma. The black boat here, the black boat here we did build at the boat shop. It's a Swindoll design. It's our own design, and the whole thing was fabricated at our boat shop in Tacoma.
So a little bird told me, your wife, that you've also taken up car racing.
Yeah, we decided that we'd go and do an enduro race. It's called Lucky Dog Racing. So we bought this little RX-7 that has like 90 horsepower and a top speed of about 80. And, and 4 of us are out running that thing. We did 7 hours on Saturday, 7 hours on Sunday. It's pretty comical. It's a lot of fun to drive, but it's not that much fun to watch.
So not a spectator sport?
Not really. I think my wife's Ultimate probably has more horsepower than this RX-7 does, but it's a big go-kart, and we're having fun.
Last year, placing behind your brother, the rivalry continues there, the inter-family rivalry.
It does. I think it was 2016 where I finished ahead of him in points. 2017 was a little different, you know, because we had lost a track. So yeah, this last season he got me. So we'll see how it goes here. This will be the tiebreaker this year.
All right. Well, Brian, good luck.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Brian Swindoll, a part of the Bandit Team Racing, as we get the little parade now of a Jeep and Boat 02 Livewire. Livewire, as I mentioned, newly owned by Von Trapp. And I'll be the first person to say that is the first time I've ever seen that boat upside down. So Vaughn getting his first attempt at a run in and his first major wreck. And our first major wreck today. Wave as they go by, as they get the little parade going. Want to thank everybody, of course, as always, for coming out here to Webb Slough. A lot of people make this race happen. A lot of it has to do with the sponsors, but a lot of volunteers. The entire St. John community, it seems like, comes out here and volunteers, working out here at the track in one form or another. A big thank you to Joseph's Granary. Taste the terroir of the Palouse. Seed to sip, grain to gulp, farm to pint. No matter how you say it, when it's brewed with Baroness barley from Joseph's Granary, it is the beer from here. Paradise Creek Brewery, by the way, is serving Cougar Kolsch today in the beer gardens, brewed with 100% Baroness barley, grown just a few miles away from Webb Slough. You can visit josephsgranary.com to learn more about the Baroness barley and join them for their Baroness Barley Harvest Day celebration coming up on August 17th. Also, Ken Paulson Plumbing, the big boys of the Palouse out here. One call to clear that drain. It's Ken Paulson Plumbing. Boat number 9. Our next boat out. Jesse Miller and Kaylin Miller, husband and wife team. Jesse's dad, Phil Miller. Right now, running the fastest boat in the class in boat 22. Jesse, for a long time, was one of the youngest drivers. Started off in the super modified class. Actually racing when he was only 16 years old as a driver and doing pretty well. Moving up into the 400 class now. Jesse definitely has some pretty decent driving skills. Moving up this year into the 400 class out of the super modified last year. So it'll be interesting to see how he compares time-wise to his dad. One of the differences will be in the hull. This is an older designed hull. You can see a little bit more of the bounce. Where Phil's boat, more one of those boats that I'd like to say is on a rail. Very smooth. You notice as he goes around the corners and hits those wakes, he catches a little bit more air in the bounce. Nice lines as he makes his way through the course and through the corners. And a good run. Clean run with a 43.03 unofficially. And that is Ron DeMoe spinning out in the middle of the channel. All right, Amanda from American Onsite, you need to call Tremaine. Amanda from American Onsite, you need to call Tremaine. Ron DeMoe, the driver of 156A, wiping out in the middle of the channel. Almost, if you noticed, almost submarined that boat, and we get our tow skidoo out there to give him a lift out after swamping the engine. Amanda from American Onsite, you are being asked to call Tremaine immediately. So Ron DeMoe, the owner of the boat, swamping it, whereas his former Navigator actually putting in a fairly clean and fast run. So he will pick up the DNF that did not finish. And that will end it for the 400 class. So our fastest boats in the class here in the 400s through one qualifier. Phil Miller and Sharon Hauser in boat 22, the fastest boat on the course, followed by
everybody good?
boat 47, Darren Swindoll and Ashley Swindoll with a 42.14. And then Fat Buddy Scott Saxton and Tater Reichert in boat 13 with a 42.63. We'll move into the unlimited class coming up next. And our first boat out is going to be Bill Sparling and Dalton Halden in boat 4. Big Bill is actually more of a littler Bill. We used to call him Big Bill mainly because he's about 6'7" and a pretty, shall we say, wide-bodied individual, but he even commented yesterday to me during the show and shine, yeah, I lost a lot of weight and I'm not sure how it's going to balance in the boat. Actually, our first boat out, pardon me, is going to be Jolly Rogers with Eric Werner and Nicole Brown. That'll be boat 907, a part of the Jolly Rogers, the founder of Jolly Rogers. Eric Werner has been driving for a number of years, starting off in the Supermods, where he did an amazing job winning one national championship. And over the course of the years, finally, a few years ago, moving up into the unlimited class, where he has become what I consider to be one of those backyard or indoor garage engineers trying to come up with new hull designs. In the 400 class, you noticed one of the Jolly Rogers was out there that kind of looked like a small slipper. That's his hull design. And he raced that boat in the unlimited class for a while, and then going back to a more traditional approach to hull design as he gets ready to come out. And he's got quite the power plant in this. He's got a 463 SBC with twin turbo custom built. Quite the power plant. You're going to see boats out here with blowers, turbochargers, a variety of different accoutrements